All right, so in the last video, I promised you a nice box method of solving these questions. That's what we're going to do here. So in nearly every percent problem, you're going to have one of the rate, base, or amount missing, and we're going to have to figure out what that missing part equals. So what we're going to do is use a percent proportion, just like we did in the last chapter. So A over B, which would be the amount over the base, is going to equal the rate over 100. Well, we can put that in a box like it is over here. So we're going to have the amount on the left and then the base below it. On the right, you're going to have the rate out of 100. So for example, we have what is 18% of 300. So first we're going to identify what is what. Well, 300 comes after the word of, that's our base. And 18%, the 18 is our rate. So the base we said is going to go down here. And the rate is going to go right here. We always write the 100 in because the rate is out of 100. So here we're solving for A. So once you have this box, it's easy to set up our equivalent fractions or proportions. We have some amount over 300 equals 18 over 100. And now we can solve that like we learned in chapter 5. So we're going to take the cross product. And they've done it a different way here. I'll show you that way as well. But first, I'm going to show you the cross product method. So we've got A times 100 equals 18 times 300. Okay, we can do that multiplication. 18 times 300 gives us what? 5,400. And now to isolate that A, we divide both sides by 100, which would give us A equals 54. Now, the reason I like to do it this way is because it does give you a few skills that will be useful later on in algebra. But the other way you can do this is you can always, if you have two fractions separated by an equal sign, you can move a denominator across that equal sign if you move it up into the denominator. So here we want to solve for A. So to get rid of that 300, they're moving it up into the numerator, and we get 300 times 18 over 100. And then we can solve for A. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So we want to find 65% of 200. Okay, well, let's fill out our box. So we want to have our amount up here, our base below it, our rate over here, and it's always going to be out of 100. So what do we know? Find 65%. So 65 is our rate. And then of 200. So 200 is our base. And that means our amount is unknown. So I'm going to write that as an X. You can use whatever letter you want. You can even put a smiley face in there if you want. Let's do a smiley face. It'll be more fun. Okay, our smiley face is our unknown. So we're going to have some smiley face over 200 equals 65 over 100. And now we want to get rid of that 200 from the left-hand side. So what we could do is we can move it up across the equal sign. And then we're going to have our smiley face equals 65 times 200 over 100. And that will give us, let's see, I'm going to type that into my calculator, 130. Okay, the other way you can do this, just to practice your algebra skills right now, is to do that cross product. So we will get 100 smiley faces equals 65 times 200. It's basically the same thing, because now I'm going to divide both sides by 100, and I end up back over here. So whichever way you find easier to look at these examples is fine. Okay, next one. So we have 75 is what percent of 300? Okay, so we want our amount on the top left there. So our amount is the 75. Notice it's closest to the word is. Okay, is what percent? So our what is our rate? That is unknown. We always put 100 down here in the bottom right. And our base here is 300. So our equivalent proportion is, or our proportion or equivalent fraction is 75 over 300 equals x over 100. Okay, so I'm going to do this one using the cross product method. So I'll get 300 times x equals 75 times 100. And now I have 300x. I want to know what a single x is. So I'm going to divide both sides by 300 because I know if I do that, my 300s are going to cancel out. And I'm left with x equals 75 times 100 over 300. And we can calculate that. So go ahead and use your calculator. And what you will get is 25. So now we know that missing value is 25. Okay, pause this video and try that next one, C. All right, let's do C together now. So we have 70 is 35% of what number? So 70 is our amount. 35 is our rate, that's out of 100. And it's of what number? So our x, or our unknown, is the base. So when we set up our proportions, we have 70 over x equals 35 over 100. And so if we do the cross product there, we're going to have 35x equals 70 times 100. And now we want to know what just x is, so we're going to divide both sides by 35. And we get x equals, so let's do that on our calculators, 70 times 100 divided by 35, and I get 200. Okay, the next one is a little bit different in that we have a percentage that's more than 100. So we have more than 100% of something, but we do it the same way. So we want to find 150% of 500. So our rate is 150. It's always out of 100. And it's of 500. So 500 is our base. So our amount is what we're looking for here. So we would have x over 500 equals 150 over 100. So if we do the cross product, we get 100x equals 150 times 500. And now we can divide both sides by 100 so that the 100s will cancel out on the left, and we're left with just plain x. So x equals, and so let's calculate that, 150 times 500, and then divided by 100 gives me 750. So with these examples, what you want to be doing is identify what it is you're looking for. That's going to be your x. And then once you put all the information in these boxes, you'll be able to set up your equivalent fractions.